Welcome to Hellohabeebi. Today we are going to visit the Tatev Monastery in Armenia. And entry ticket charges 7,000 rand per person for two-way travel. It was included in the Guinness World Records as world's longest non-stop double-track cable car. Wings of Tatev, a cableway from Tatev to Halidzor village, was opened in October 2010. Restoration of the monastery, re-establishing its educational legacy and reviving monastic life at Tatev is one of the main goals of Tatev Revival program, a part of which is Wings of Tatev aerial tramway. The Wings of Tatev aerial tramway operates all year round, and the operating hours vary from season to season. In summer, June to August, the aerial tramway operates from 9 am to 8 pm. In colder weather, October to April, it operates from 10 am to 6 pm. In May and September, it operates from 10 am to 7 pm. During high summer season, the aerial tramway operates every day, without exception. The rest of the year, it runs on every day but Monday. Over the millennia, wind and water have created this wonder of nature, polishing and piercing the petrified lava. The width of this natural bridge, along which runs the autoroad to Tatev Monastery, is 60 meters. The length 30 meters. Close to the bridge it is possible to swim in the warm salubrious springs, ringed by stalactites of marvelous colors. The most intrepid can descend to the river to see the secretive grottos below the springs, mountain villages and churches. Standing motionless on the bottom and slopes of the picturesque Vorotan Gorge are the villages abandoned in the middle of the last century. Old Coat village remaining in Coat is the church Mrgajhorikach, cross of the Fruit Ravine, which, according to local law, was built by a famous beauty having fled the harem of Shah Abbas of Persia. Old Halidzor in the early 10th century, the village of Halidzor was gifted to Tatev. The village belonged to the monastery until the 19th century. The small stone homes of this yet another abandoned village were built with a cascade, traditional for Armenian alpine villages, where the roof of the lower home serves as the floor and courtyard of the upper one. Old Syunik village. The village's exact age is unknown. The 10th century is mentioned in the written documents studied to date. However, the very name of the villa, Syunik, father of settlements, evidences that it was among the oldest in Syunik. Evidence exists that a strong earthquake in the 13th century destroyed the village's central church, built on the site of the former, which was constructed in the 4th–5th centuries. The church was rebuilt after the earthquake and remains standing in Old Syunik, in the Vorotan Ravine. Located here as well is a cemetery with numerous ancient gravestones, among which stands out a 3-meter-tall cross stone. Great Hermitage of Tatev. Preserved on the right bank of Vorotan River are the ruins of the shelter of the Karn's hermits, Vorotan Gorge. Flowing deep in the gorge, above which passes the wings of Tatev cableway, is the Vorotan River. Nestled in the picturesque canyon are salubrious water springs, ancient cave dwellings and the shelters of hermits. History of Tatev Monastery. Monastery is located in southeast Armenia, in the area of ancient Armenian Syunik, not far from the city of Goris and 280 kilometers away from Yerevan. The Tatev plateau has been in use since pre-Christian times, hosting a pagan temple. The temple was replaced with a modest church following the Christianization of Armenia in the 4th century. Development of the Tatev Monastery began in the 9th century when it became the seat of the Bishop of Syunik. In his History of the Province of Syunik, historian Stepanos Orbelian describes the construction of a new church near the old one in 848 through the financial assistance of Prince Philip of Syunik. With the growth of economic and political importance of the center, the aging buildings no longer suited its requirements, and thus Bishop Ioannis, John, obtained the financial assistance of Prince Ashot of Syunik to construct the new monastery. In the beginning of the 11th century, Tatev hosted around 1,000 monks and a large number of artisans. In 1044, armed forces of neighboring emirates destroyed the St. Gregory Church and its surrounding buildings, which were reconstructed soon after that. In 1087, the Church of St. Mary was built to the north of the complex. The monastery suffered significant damage during Seljuk invasions in the 12th century and the earthquake in 1136. In 1170, Seljuk Turks plundered the monastery and burned some 10,000 manuscripts. The monastery was rebuilt through the efforts of Bishop Stepanos near the end of the 13th century. The monastery's image from 1881. The monastery was granted an exemption from taxes during Mongol rule. It regained its economic strength with the assistance of the Orbelian family. Its influence grew further when, in 1286, the Orbelians assumed control of the monastery. Stepanos Orbelian was consecrated metropolitan and succeeded in reuniting a number of surrounding dioceses within its realm. With the establishment of the university in the 14th century, Tatev became a principal center of Armenian culture. During Temur Alain's campaigns into Syunik, 1381 to 1387, Tatev was looted, burned, and dispossessed of a significant portion of its territories. The monastery received an additional blow during Shahruk's invasion in 1434. The monastery circa 1920. The monastery was reborn in the 17th and 18th centuries. Its structures restored and new ones were added. It was looted again during the incursions of Persian forces led by Aga Mahmud Khan in 1796. In 1836, Tsarist Russia put an end to the metropolitan authorities of Tatev through the imposition of Polygenia, and Syunik became part of the Diocese of Yerevan. On the 26th of April 1921, the Second Pan-Hungarian Congress, held in Tatev, announced the independence of the Republic of Mountainous Armenia. The state included the regions of Tatev, Kenyan, Sisian and Devas. The city of Goris became the capital of the unrecognized state with Garagenjde as its supreme commander. The monastery was seriously damaged after an earthquake in 1931. The dome of the Sts. Paul and Peter Church and the bell tower were destroyed. In the latter years, the Sts. Paul and Peter Church was reconstructed, but the bell tower remains destroyed up to today. The Tatev Monastery is a 9th century Armenian apostolic monastery located on a large basalt plateau near the Tatev village in Syunik province in southeastern Armenia. The term Tatev usually refers to the monastery. The monastic ensemble stands on the edge of a deep gorge of the Vorotan River. Tatev was known as the bishopric seat of Syunik and played a significant role in the history of the region as a center of economic, political, spiritual and cultural activity. In the 14th and 15th centuries, the monastery hosted one of the most important Armenian medieval universities, the University of Tatev, which contributed to the advancement of science, religion and philosophy,